Big name interviews, advice on cooking brisket and ribs, and the only host willing to share his honest opinion on all things important in the world of barbecue. It's the Barbecue Central Show.
All right, 37 past, 877-448-0433. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com are the two ways to get in touch with the show. Don't forget Survey Tuesday questions. Favorite commercial rub, favorite barbecue or grilling read or website, and favorite non-barbecue food. All right, joining me now, somebody that is a monthly contributor to the show, a barbecue and grilling sauce reviewer extraordinaire, Scott Roberts, joins me here on the show. Scott, how are you, buddy?
Fantastic. How are you, Greg?
Doing absolutely fabulous, Scott. Man, we sound 110 times better than we did last time. You still look creepy, though. Man. What's up with that?
I don't know. I have no idea. But it was just one big echo fest. I'm glad to get that behind us.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Sounds great. I would love if my wife were to allow me to shave my head. And I would add the goatee, but I would also go full beard, but with the shaved head. She would never, ever want to do nasty, dirty things to me, though, if I looked like that.
Why do you think that?
She's pretty much told me as much. She said, no way. You look like that, then it's no fun for you. So, sometimes we got to listen because there's other things more important than how we look, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, so, Scott, you have to tell me what's going on at scottrobertsweb.com before we bust into our traditional fare. Anything new, exciting that you are going to be breaking or scooping in the world of hot stuff?
Nothing breaking. I've been doing lots of little miscellaneous things over there lately. I guess one of the biggest posts that I put over there, I guess the recent month or two, has been I had went to one of my local supermarkets and I took a photo of every single spicy food item I could find there. Ended up being 190 photos, I think it was. Ended up whittling that down to 80-something photos. But it was pretty revealing, what I found.
And what was it that you found specifically?
A lot of salsa. Now, if you've ever heard, that salsa is the number one condiment, it surpassed sales of ketchup. After seeing what I saw in the grocery store, I totally believe it. As far as volume, it was probably salsa over ketchup 5-1.
5-1?
Yes.
Wow.
On the end caps, the end of aisles, there were just displays full of, tortilla chips, salsa, spicy potato chips, all kinds of things like that for snacking. Yeah. Just people grab and go and just salsa all over the damn place.
I guess I can see that now that you mention it. But we're going to be talking about some sauces and rubs here tonight. I got to make sure that I loaded you correctly here, so let's transition you over. The first thing that we have is a Legend Larry's Spicy Bacon Barbecue Wing Sauce. So you can probably see it there off to the side, right? You can see everything?
I can see that, yeah. Right. I also have my own little bottle right here.
Oh, even better, right? So here's the thing that, anything that references flavor always freaks me out. I talked about it with Chris Grove last hour when he was talking about the Bush's mesquite-flavored beans. Here you have a sauce that is referencing bacon, so I immediately go to fake. But we will leave it to the expert reviewer on Legend Larry's Spicy Bacon Barbecue Wing Sauce. What did you think of it?
Let me preface all of this by saying I like bacon, but I do not buy into the whole hype of bacon that's been all over the internet in recent years. I cannot stand everyone just screaming as if it's the best thing in the world. It's not even my favorite kind of pork meat. That having been said, I do like bacon. I do like bacon flavor. This had an odd artificial bacon flavor.
Oh,
in the ingredients list, I couldn't tell if it was artificial or natural or not. But you know what? It was strangely compelling. It was good for something artificial. So I kind of would half recommend it.
So it's good in the artificial way, like fake boobs are good?
Imagine some of the best looking fake boobs you've ever seen. I guess this would be the barbecue wing sauce equivalent of that.
All right, so fake in a good way.
Fake in a good
size of bottle, price points, and where can you get it?
Okay, comes in a 12-ounce bottle. You could find it at legendlarrys.com for $9.99 plus shipping. A little pricey. I would say unless you're wanting to experiment with this, I wouldn't go for it. It's a little costly, but if you do I guess, love kind of an odd bacon, maybe a Baco's flavor, go for it. I would try it. An overall rating, I would give it a backyard griller, so it'd be 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5, so not too bad. Is it something that you could use as like a base sauce and build on top of it, or is it just going to be a standalone?
You know what? I could see adding like really base spices to it, like salt or garlic or something like that. It does have a little bit of spice to it. I mean, there is some cayenne pepper in it. It's sweet. It's tomatoey. It's decent in that regard. But I wouldn't really mix it with anything too terribly sweet. I think it would just completely throw a flavor profile off.
All right, so 3 out of 5, and again, $10, legendlarrys.com, the place to go ahead and get that. Next item up for bid, and we certainly know this guy. It's the, look what I did here, Scott.
What did you do?
Oh, for the love of Christ. Well, I forgot that I split screened you, and now I got to move this picture over. Look at there. It's a Big Mista, the perfect pork rub. Luckily, I have production tools right at my fingertips. What did you think of Neil's effort here, Scott?
A fantastic product. I wouldn't say it's perfect, but one of the better pork rubs I've tasted in probably the past 6 months. And there's nothing distinctive except for one thing. I tasted a lot of cinnamon in this.
Yeah.
Of course, there's a little sweet, garlicky, savory elements, a little bit of sweetness, but it's that cinnamon. And I'm really not hog wild over those kind of aromatic flavors if they're used too much, like a cinnamon, an allspice, nutmeg, things like that. It's used, I think, just the right amount to add some distinctive tones to it. But on pulled pork, it was absolutely fantastic.
Now, let me ask you this question, Scott. This is going to seem very weird, but I refuse to be called a stumper or a mark or somebody who will not potentially call anybody out to the carpet. I like Neil's product, first and foremost. But when I poured it out of the bag into my shaker that Shane Draper gave me that seems to apply rub just in the perfect amounts, it was hitting the bottom and it was wafting back up, and like a black pepper or something, it was like burning up my nose. Did you get any type of a aromatic kickback in that regard, like a burning sensation or anything like that?
No, but what you're describing was a bunch of dust being kicked up?
I don't know if it just happened in shipping or what, but so here's what I would recommend. You open up that bag. I would imagine you have some left over.
Yes.
All right. Just open it back up and just take don't plow your nose down into it, but open it up and just give it like a good couple big inhales in and see if you get anything. Now, aside from that, and again, it could have just been a shipping thing where it pulverized it down, so it was just able to get up in the air and into my nose a little bit easier. Really, one of the better tasting rubs that I have had probably in at least the last year. Although I'm still a little bit more partial to the Butcher Barbecue honey rub. But this is, I like the texture and the way that it melded with the pork, and it was also very good on ribs. Did you have it on ribs?
Actually, I did not. I just had it on pork shoulder and pork steaks. Equally good on both.
Pork steaks, yeah, absolutely. All right, size, price point, and where can you get it?
Okay, you can get it at bigmista.com/store, and that will redirect you to his little shopping cart online. You can buy it in a 14-ounce bag for $11 plus shipping. I would say it's a very good deal for it. This isn't totally outside of the box for something that you put on pork. Again, there's just that slight little bit of cinnamon tone. I didn't get much of the black pepper that you had encountered, but I saw overall very, very good product. And I would give this a top 10 call.
Top 10
out of 5.
All right, definitely worth picking up. And again, price point, or as I like to call it, QPR, quality price ratio, really playing in favor. So good job for Neil on that effort. And then our final product here tonight, which I know I'm going to have to resize because I'm an idiot, is the Country Bob's. Let me see. Can I pull? I'll just move you right over.
Oh, okay.
There we go. See, now you just moved right over. Country Bob's Honey Habanero All-Purpose Sauce. So not necessarily a barbecue sauce, not necessarily a hot sauce, billing itself as something that might be able to go with everything. What did you think of it?
I found it going good with steak. It's a very, I guess, admirable kind of steak sauce. It doesn't have that, I guess, distinctive quality, especially if there's a Worcestershire sauce or raisins, things that are in a lot of steak sauces. It doesn't have that kind of a bite to it, but it's very similar. It has that sweet tomatoey edge that are in a lot of, I guess, standard barbecue sauces. Not a distinctive honey flavor. There is quite a bit of sweetness. Not a whole lot of heat either. I mean, the habanero might scare a lot of people off. It's nowhere near, I would say, even like a jalapeno or chipotle level heat. Just a little tinge of spiciness to it. But overall, it's pretty good. Of course, a lot of things are good on chicken. I tried it on that. It held up remarkably well. Put it on some ribs, so-so. Nothing to write home about. But then again, I kind of go back to steaks. Put it on a ribeye. I think what I was in the mood for that particular night, it hit the mark on that. So that's why I would kind of, I would say, halfway recommend this product. It's I guess, concocted to appeal to the masses out there. I guess it could have been bolder and more flavorful. It could have been spicier. It didn't live up to that full potential, I guess. In a lot of ways, it's watered down. But for what it is, don't expect a whole lot out of it. It does a decent job. And I guess the good thing is it's available a lot of grocery stores nationwide. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with the Country Bob's products. You can pick up a bottle for $3-4. If you can't find any near you, just go to countrybobs.com. And I think on that website, they make you buy half a case or full case. It's kind of up to you if you really want to splurge for that. But I definitely, if you're wanting something like this that would appeal to your family who doesn't like a lot of big, bold flavors, to try it on them, see if they like it.
All right, so I asked you with the first sauce, that the bacon barbecue wing sauce. Is this something that you could make some other type of sauce out of? Would this be a good base for something or no?
Definitely yes. And get a good salty, hot, spicy rub that has good earthy tones to it. Put it on some ribs, whatever kind of meat you have out there, and then try this on it. Even though I tried it on ribs, I guess probably the mistake I made was it was a nice sweet rub on ribs. You put this on there, it really didn't add much to it. So I would definitely recommend adding other things that are kind of at the other end of the scale. Saltiness, definitely something with a little bit more kick in terms of spiciness to it.
Scott Roberts joining us here on the show. You can find him at scottrobertsweb.com. Scott, have you ever tried Blair's After Death Sauce XXX?
I tried all of Blair's products, yes.
All right, so give us, this is from Tony Herrera was just asking about it. He seems to love it. What kind of a explosion on your mouth is this going to be? Is it not super hot? Does something that say after death sauce mean it's going to blow your a-hole out the next day? I mean, what are we looking at?
A lot of the death sauces in Blair's line contain chili pepper extract. That's what a lot of sauce makers used before the super hot chili peppers came along, like the ghost pepper, the Trinidad Scorpion, Butch tea. I think it has an absolutely nasty taste. I would rather, lick sweat out of, somebody's ass crack than eat chili pepper extract. It really depends on how much extract people use in a sauce. And there's quite a bit in Blair's line of his, I guess, upper echelon of hot sauces. Some of the milder sauces are very, very good. But he just adds more and more of this extract just to make it hotter. And the hotter it gets, the worse it gets, I think.
All right, Scott Roberts. You can find him, scottrobertsweb.com. Scott, always appreciate the time that you give the show every month, and we will look for you again in May.
All right, sounds good.
All right,
Thanks,
take care.
Greg.
There he is, Scott Roberts from scottrobertsweb.com. All right, I think Scott just said that he would rather lick somebody's sweaty ass crack. Wait, he did say that. You never know what that guy's going to say, I swear to God.